your Scarlet Aegis with this setup with Phoenix and Blaze for sure. Give them the extra armor. Makes them basically impossible to kill.
Artanis!
Wow. Okay.
Okay,
Hello, Wiz.
amateur opponent, BOE, have certainly did not see that for a long time since we had a lot of new heroes kicking in.
I think this is going to be double swap as well coming through from Wiz, and I think that they're going to look to punish the front line here with this a lot. I think there's a lot you could do with swap into Sundering. You swap someone into Modern Life's range, and he's going to do tons of damage.
You swap into Whitemane, she has no escape.
Well, she's dead if that happens.
She's
got to be positioned well. Before she uses Scarlet Aegis, there's a huge window of time. Or if she uses it early and you disengage, then after Scarlet Aegis has already been used. There's a lot of ways you can use the swaps here. I think that if Artanis doesn't make the big plays, like if Wiz can't actually find these windows to utilize Artanis, threaten the back line, then I think that Ballistix has the better comp for the map. Artanis has to be the X factor, has to channel his inner H82 here for this to be a successful composition. Artanis will be nigh unkillable with Deckard on his side as well. Potion should buy him enough time to get his shields up. That's when the burst is going to be important. That's when Li Ming is going to have to connect the dots with those skill shots.
Well, see, still the plea build for Whitemane. It is still the weekend before the nerfs onto level 4.
First swap here, pretty solid. Honkono allows Hooligan to jump back. He's going to be rooted. He should be fine. Gondar jumps away.
Already used charge to get away, so can't really push Gondar into the turret.
Let's take a look at the mana here of Whitemane throughout the early parts of this game, especially before 13. Because this was something that Ending Life and I criticized a lot yesterday, was how much can you get done with Whitemane?
That's basically how, it tells you how good you are on the hero. It's really hard to manage your mana. Only your Q actually consumes your mana, but still when you stack up, all the Desperation stacks up. It's so hard. Yeah,
especially in the longer fight. You have to really be careful. She can burst heal, but it's at a heavy mana cost. Modern Life going to have to use his adrenaline there. That's actually a nice catch by SDE to force that out early. One tool gone on a pretty long cooldown. In the top lane, we haven't talked about this too much with Artanis versus Blaze. It's actually pretty good for Artanis. It's not a winning matchup for him, but it's a lot better than some of the other matchups you could have against Blaze. And I think the theme here becomes frontline swapped into the back, blown up. Like Hooligan is mostly going to be the target. And I think that if this is played correctly for BlossoM, in these big fights, that's how they win this map. But if things go wrong, if someone gets picked, if SDE is able to blow people up with this Li Ming, like, they win the race every time. They've got Phoenix Li Ming, they've got strong front line.
But you can't take out the damage that Artanis is going to have with that amateur opponent pretty quick. People always forget. But you have the racing potential along with Raynor. So, Raynor does not have direct peel like Blaze or Irel to push anyone out driving into the back line. But Artanis can act like that, somewhat in a similar role, as you can swap out anyone diving in. And Thrall also, post-10 Thundering, is going to buy him some time at least.
So, G-Clef and I did just do some detective work, and in fact, I had forgotten that double swap was removed from the game, so we confirmed that, so that's not actually going to be a factor. So, that to me it makes this pick less enticing to me. But still, I mean, even solo swaps can be quite strong. We'll take a look at his build as he goes on. Obviously, he's going to Shield Surge at 4. We'll see what he ends up taking up at 7, where the swap choice comes through. You can see here, like, he's not in this fight right now, and Hooligan could put a lot of threat onto the members of BlossoM in this moment.
Alone? Kind of acting like a gray main, that sort of way, just racing alone.
Yep.
But, of course, not going to be as much as what Ballistix is trying to do with that 5-man down here.
I mean, Ballistix has Li Ming and Phoenix, and solo you can do a lot, like you said, like gray main style, but there's a limit. And now in this case, this is going to force Ballistix to react. This is where you actually have to engage as Ballistix here. I'm a little bit surprised. I thought they could race this much. Only a few K ahead. They're going to go in. They lose the Immortal race. Where are the kills? That's what they need now.
Focusing on Tonkona may have not. Does not have an escape. That's a death roll, but they do get to manage. They get one of the strongest objects in this entire game. That's certainly worth the kill for them.
So I think that Ballistix could have done this a little bit differently, but at the end of the day, this Immortal's not going to be too impactful. Ballistix still has an experience lead, and not just because of that kill, but just because they've been able to manage their lanes better. Wiz has been kind of pulled back and forth a lot. He's going to have 7 in just a moment. We'll find out if he gets Warp Cygnus. So I think that's something that we may see to kind of... If you grab the Diablo in this case, it's going to be Hooligan. If you can get him, slow him, blow him up, then you can win the fight like every time afterwards. It's the halftime, it's pre-halftime where BlossoM has the biggest issue, right? Because that's where, you know, they can't really fight all together. If they get enough of a lead, or sorry, if they don't get too... if Ballistix doesn't get enough of a lead, then they can just collapse on and win the races we saw just previously. Ballistix hesitated too much before going in, and that cost them big. So if that continues, it's a win for BlossoM.
Yeah, I think it was also the positioning of Immortals back then.
Ooh.
Getting a really nice pair up with that propulsion, but Merryday does self-potion.
That was a really scary moment there for BlossoM. Wiz is grabbing some extra soak meanwhile. So this is actually a really positive trade for them. As you can see, right now, you know, they have to send Jungha back to the top lane. He had to Hearth Home and then walk up. So he's actually going to miss some of these minions. And this is a small window for Artanis to get positional advantage here. So Wiz just going to head over now. And in fact, they're going to push bot a little bit. Look at Wiz, though. He's staying in the center of the map, trying to catch any rotators. Could have actually gotten a nice trade there. Ballistix defends this here. They're going to look to set up for the Immortal fight. Wiz actually, he rotated mid, and he was looking for stragglers that might have been rotating, but...
Focusing on the white main. Let's see how well Magi actually survives. From Kono getting focused, he will be burnt down to the ground. As white main does survive, now the target's on Raynor. Modern trying to keep himself alive, but he's going nowhere out of this. Yep,
Gondar's going to go down here as well. Wiz is fighting minions here on his way out. I was talking about how I thought he was making a good rotation down, and then they didn't actually commit to it before 10. He went back top, so kind of did a little bit of a half rotation, and this means that in that window, like, Ballistix was able to get 10 first, and right afterwards, they get the fight win, and this is going to be a free Immortal for them. Almost fully shielded, because Wiz has to stay top to get soak. And there's just no way they can win a fight or even contest. They don't have poke. They have consistent damage with the Artanis and the Raynor, but they don't have poke like a Li Ming or a Sergeant Hammer. So they can come over here and do like maybe 500 to 1,000 worth of damage. Just hitting like 1.5k now, as Ballistix is going to finish off the Immortal here while doing cap. So they get a little bit of extra damage because Ballistix did commit to that cap. Hooligan over here alone. The rotation's coming down though, and they still don't have 10. Modern Life.
SD trying to pick up a kill.
That was such a good wave of force. Now Merryday's body blocked. Look at this. He is going to get blown up, tossed in by Hooligan. What a well-executed rotation here from Ballistix. Great play by SD. 2 wave of forces after the reset there. Just keeping these members locked out.
Tennis is still up there. Managed to get the swap. But still, there's a gigantic wave along with the camp. It's hoping to get to 10, but it's going to take a longer time to burn down this Immortal, which is pushing all the way.
Yeah, it's going to be a dead 4. 10's up for BlossoM now, but it's too late to, you know, it's too late to make a big impact here. Unless Ballistix makes a mistake on an engage, these heroics aren't going to be too useful.
Get that Gondar is actually holding on. Possible Haymaker to get that white main out of there. To focus on. Didn't really go well last time when they engaged on. Getting grab onto Modern, but there's the Hyperion coming down.
Bunkers up. And that's going to be the retreat here for Ballistix. They don't get to keep the significant amount of damage. Interesting we don't see the blind for Artanis. So I think that could have been huge against Phoenix. Sundering does layer on here to SC. Hooligan has to dash away.
Helps Hooligan to actually go back there. Thanks for the help.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. The lack of a blind here against Phoenix, sure, it's not good against Li Ming, but that's odd. You can, I mean, obviously Diablo can't avoid the beam when he's doing lightning breath, so maybe that's one of the reasons why they took it, but some weird stuff here, G-Clef, with these heroics for BlossoM. 13 against them now. We're going to have that Immortal fight set up in just a moment.
Weirdly enough, it's actually Gondar who picked it, not Honkano.
I know, right? That's like the weird part about this. Uh-oh, Hooligan's on the chase. Defensive with Haymaker here.
Ooh, this one's a pre-setup. Focusing on Diablo, gets a kill.
A lot of damage coming out with this. SD wants the resets. There's Gondar. He jumps in. Modern Life is under fire here. He knows he's going down. He's just trying to buy time for the rest to escape. Resets coming through. Nice juke here by Meride. He's caught by that wave of force. Does not get caught by the seal. And SD's low on mana. He has to make everything count. Just barely Meride will get out. We will see this beam come through here. It's onto SD to try to put them back. Wiz gets caught outside, though. Nice swap, but the Lightning Breath will catch him. And suddenly, G-Clef, I've got a bad feeling about how this series may end if this continues. If you're a BlossoM fan, I'll be a little bit concerned about this Wiz pick. It just has not been working out.
And it's actually the dash. 7 more damage when you go first in. Not looking for slow for any swaps, so this was basically the one intended. Artanis we would usually see for possible swaps, creating some super play, but it just seems like they were on the fly. Let's just do Artanis. It does a lot of damage. We can run for Immortal.
Yeah. Oh, Hooligan caught here. That almost knocked him into the stun. That would have been a huge combo. Okay, Seal's going to come here. The bunker denying it, so Jungha does escape that. Here's the follow-up Sunder. It's going to be a big one. Into the sleep. The swap into the sleep. SC's going to have to warp away. He does drop out. This salvo. Wiz gets killed. That's resets for SDE. He's got 1. Will he get 2? Gondar very, very low.
Can't do so. Potions killing, healing them up so they're keeping safe. SDE can't make it happen.
There it is. 2 more. So close to those.
Oh, mana's so low, so he can't really have the full combo. Yeah.
And now he's kind of caught in no man's land. The fort is dead. He's got the mount. Oh, he wants to come and gets him! Whoa! 3 for 3 here. I don't think he gets out, though. He doesn't have enough for teleport. Oh, yes, he does. Just barely. There's another one. To beam.
Everyone trying to chase down SCE.
Oh my god. That's it. Gets him there with the cube. The slow would have had the beam probably finish him off, but very tense moment here in this first game. BlossoM on the cusp of winning these fights. SDE is being the carry.
Meride, I think, hard carried that fight.
He did.
Isolating, first of all, Grey Sunder to start off, to kind of disposition the entire team, and then Meride locks down 4 members. Oh, that makes it pretty easy to burn down Diablo. That's not a hard thing to do when they have the entire squad. So that's the power of Dr. Kane we've been seeing so far. The game, they get the camp, but this Immortal's already pretty much damaged.
Yep, Gondar in trouble. Triple sleep. Sunder follow-up.
So engaging, no warp, no swap being done, so that's a little bit unfortunate from Wiz. But here comes SDE.
He's looking for those resets, but he hasn't gotten them yet.
Gets 2, 3, 4 onto kill onto Diablo, but he wants more. He's hungry.
I need oil, G-Clef. I'm having the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz again. Oil can.
That's okay, because it does happen because SDE is popping off in this game. We know that as a Li Ming player, that's exactly what you do. The reason why you play Li Ming, when your team basically sets up everything for you, you just have to press WQE, and somehow you will be picking up kills.
Meriday dancing. Don't think he's going to feel too happy about how the end of this game goes, though.
Where'd the rest of my team go?
Yeah.
I'm still alive, and I'm an old man.
SD, can you, like, leave them alone? Salvo with Lightning Breath is a great combo, and it's putting everybody low on the side of BlossoM, and that just gives SD opportunities for resets. It's a really cool comp. And the execution here is nice, and I feel like BlossoM needs to respect it a little bit more. Okay, here's the cube and the seal, but it doesn't really connect. Sleep here.
Gets the bunker out, so it keeps down.
Meriday is caught.
Oh, SD looking for kill, gets one.
Salvo's going to give him a second reset here. Almost a third on the Wiz, but they can go core now. It's Hooligan who actually gets the kill there. On to Wiz, and this Artanis pick just simply did not work out. Scarlet Age is going to give everybody armor here to finish off the core as SDE is just doing SDE things. Wave of Force to try to push Honkono away. He's got so much burst healing from SDE. That's game over. Ballistix will take game number 1 in spectacular fashion.
They had great adaptation as well. BlossoM, I think they need to swap classes here as they were focusing onto SC's hero a lot. And SDE is actually the one that pulls off. SCSC does not like to play Phoenix personally, but he was off to final pick. It seemed like Phoenix pulled off a lot of damage as well because Li Ming was actually making the one. And Artanis pick, let's have a few questions on that one.
Yeah, let's take a look at his stats. You know, he ends up with 0 and 4. You know, 2 assists or whatever, but very little damage done. If you compare his siege damage to Chung'a's, like it should be higher if this comp is working correctly because he's doing so much damage to the Immortal. The fact that Chung'a ends up with higher damage than him when he's running amateur opponent means the comp has failed. SDE ends up with 100% kill involvement, 20 for 20, 317, and 1 death. So
20 kills.
20 kills. All of them are his. He has involvement in each and every single one of those. He doesn't top damage, but it's just the comp where you Lightning Breath to Salvo. Salvo gets the bonus damage from the Lightning Breath slows. And you have Li Ming there to just clean up the pieces. Li Ming is a burst mage, but when she gets resets consistently in every fight, it's like she doesn't have cooldown. She's only limited in those moments by her mana.
Yeah, basically, and Meriday, even if they were losing 20 kills, but in terms of healing amount, actually that could pull out about the same 60k to 63 from White Mane. So that's really brilliant done, but you can only save so much. There were lots of targets. Tannis was never really hitting a good swap where you actually want to turn the game around by hitting maybe Li Ming or White Mane to actually kidnap one, burst down, you don't have a healer, so we go in 4v5 situation. I think that's what they wanted, but not even going for that Q from 7, and then I started to worry. What is he exactly trying to accomplish? Of course, you do more wave clear if you want to soak on that, but he wasn't really using that to clear the wave first and then rotate down to make an engage. That never really happened.
I don't know where I missed the memo that, you know, Artanis lost double swap.
No one cares about
But like,
Artanis.
The thing is, like, he's not. The thing is, he's not meta. So for me, like, when a patch comes out, I usually look at the most meta heroes first, and I kind of remember that being in the patch note, but like not really. But when I saw the Artanis pick and I looked at the comp, I thought, well, if you can really mess with Blaze and Diablo's positioning because of the way bunker works, then you have to force everyone on the other side to go to where Blaze is and get in the bunker rather than he just places it wherever he wants. With only one swap, it's a little bit tougher to make that happen. So if you get 2 swaps and you can really, you know, it's, again, that's not even easy to do, but we saw HA2 have great success with that
What
historically.
was it, like Gravity Vortex
yeah,
or something?
Gravity Vortex, something like that.
And I think it changed to some different effects now.
Well, there's Chrono. I'm just looking at. I mean, I have the builds open right now because I was trying to figure out where I went wrong there. But Chrono Surge is there where you get attack speed, and the Warp Sickness has always been around. That's still a thing. But I thought maybe that was going to be part of the reason why Artanis was picked here. Didn't even pick the blind, and you know that really means that Phoenix is going to have a great time. You can even use the blind to slow down Immortal races. There's like so much utility there. The beam just Planet Cracker, you know, or whatever it's called. Why am I missing on these names today? Purifier Beam. It's actually
it is kind of like Planet Cracker from the other angle, right?
It's actually I think because you know Heroes was made with like the StarCraft 2 engine originally.
Yes.
I think it's actually the same animation that Planet Cracker had when the mothership had Planet Cracker as an ability back in like the StarCraft 2 alpha. So that's why like in my head it's Planet Cracker. But anyway, it's Purifier Beam. I don't know why they didn't take Suppression Pulse. I think it would have been much better for the situation. Let's throw this game out of our minds because this is... I came into this series right and I said BlossoM is the better team. That first game makes me change, you know, makes me want to change my opinion. We'll see how the series goes. But we're going to Sky Temple for game number 2.
Sky Temple. Yes. Seems like Ballistix might have an easy series, but of course, BlossoM had the easy 2-game first at Eastern. We can never count them off. Of course, first game, let's just toss that aside. Artanis did not really work. As even the Haymaker, I think, after having a second thought, well, if Li Ming's getting another reset because you die without the avatar. There are just lots of